The Memphis Grizzlies clinched the 8th seed with their victory over the Dallas Mavericks. They won the game 120 to 106. But the biggest thing that stood out to me in this game was on the Dallas Mavericks side, which had to deal with Anthony Davis, aka my nickname for him, A Dummy. But Anthony Davis had a great game when you look at the box score: 40 points, 16 of 29 shooting, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. You would think like, wow, these are great numbers. He did it all in this game. How can you criticize this guy? I would say the reason why I can criticize this guy is that this game really was a microcosm of Anthony Davis's career. That in this game, I saw flashes of brilliance, greatness, domination, and then I saw flashes of just being passive, aggressive, getting hurt, limping like a bitch throughout the game, and especially towards the end, this guy had some weird injury which looked like his ass had just been stretched in the slammer the way he was limping. That it just had it all. Like this game is a perfect microcosm of his career. That's what I truly felt. Like at the start of this game, I didn't feel that he asserted himself the way he should have. That he didn't play aggressive from the start. He only started to play aggressive in the first quarter when they were down by 13. And I felt, yeah, it was great that he was trying to compete in this game at that point in time instead of just giving up and mailing it in. But I felt it was like a little too late because despite playing aggressive in this game from that point forward, the Mavericks were always one step behind the Grizzlies. They were always trying to dig themselves out of a hole. A few times in this game, they were able to cut down the lead to 7 points a few times, but the Grizzlies would just answer back with another run, hit a few threes, and they were back in control of the game. This was the case throughout the game that just the Mavericks could not come back because of the big hole they had put themselves in the first quarter of this game. So I attribute that to Anthony Davis not setting the tone from the beginning of the game. I feel in these games, in these elimination games, you had to come out aggressively, swinging, just going for all guns blazing, as they would say. And I didn't feel Anthony Davis did that in this game, just from the beginning of the game. And then this guy was getting these nagging injuries like he always does throughout the game. Like this guy is made out of glass. He's the type of guy, if he got a paper cut, I think he would be out for like several games. Just towards the end of the game, he had that weird limping injury, which made him ineffective and he couldn't really do anything. And that's when the game was really officially over. But what Anthony Davis showed us in this game is that he is not that guy. He's just not that guy. There was this one funny moment in the game where him and Ja were talking trash to each other, and I think Anthony Davis was saying that he was gonna come at him and that he was gonna stop him, and it was funny because it just shows Anthony Davis that he's all talk, but he just can't deliver. He has the flair, but he just can't deliver it. He can't seal the deal. This was a game where he just couldn't seal the deal when it truly mattered. And this game is another painful reminder for Dallas Maverick fans that they got ripped off, that they were just fleeced in this trade. Because the problem with Anthony Davis is not just that he's not as good as Luka, he's not on Luka's level. He's also less durable than Luka when you think about it. This guy gets hurt easy, much more easier than Luka does. Easily, as they would say, much more easily than Luka does. That you just can't count on this guy. And I think that's the biggest issue with Anthony Davis. And it's just going to get worse from this point forward. Mavericks have nothing to look forward to. Anthony Davis will have these types of games like he did tonight where he'll show flashes of brilliance, but that'll always be marred by injuries, like what happened towards the end of the game in the fourth quarter for this guy. So that's all I really want to say. Nothing else really stood out to me in this game. The Grizzlies, they took care of business. They were all balanced as a team. And you give them credit because they set the tone from the beginning that they didn't want to go home. They wanted to win this game, and they prevailed. So now they'll be facing OKC on Sunday, and that should be an entertaining series. That's all I have to say.